and welcome to Geeks Around. This is Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., episode 202. I'm your host, Matt Moore. And today we have on the panel, let's start from the left. How you doing, Andy? Hi, Andy.
What up, bitches? I'm back. I was gone last week, but now I'm finally back, and I love this episode.
Perfect. And next to him we have Charles, the Weedhead Whedon. How you doing, Charles?
Well, I'm doing great, and the episode for the most part was entertaining, but it did sort of like drop down, like in excitement sometimes. Yeah.
All right, perfect. And last but not least, I can't figure out how to do a lower third. Isaiah Mullins. How you doing, Isaiah?
Oh, you know me, man. The internet's going great. I can't put up my lower third, and I love this episode.
And we can't see the top of your head. Like, we can't see above your eyeballs. There we go.
Good.
Perfect. All right, and so let's talk about the episode. Let me see. We start out with where the first episode ended with, of course. We had the big old crash over the back of Creel, which was kind of amusing. I still don't think that car should have flipped. It should have crumpled. But that's just me. And yeah, so we have the crash. Melinda May ends up trying to help Hunter. Ends up giving Hunter a laser welder. And I totally forgot to ask about first impressions about the episode. First impressions about the episode, Andy.
Well, I was happy, from the get-go. I'm still upset about the fact that we lost Lucy Lawless in the first episode because she's Lucy fucking Lawless. You're not supposed to kill her off in one episode, but I kind of get what the producers were going for. So, no, but I think this episode was really much about Lance Hunter, Nick Blood's character, and he's a bit of a wild card, but I dig him. He's a very cool character, and so yeah, that's we were kind of following his, we were following his point of view throughout the whole episode. So I think that was kind of neat.
Cool. How about you, Charles? Yeah, I know you tried to put that into your intro, but expand.
Yes. Well, to be honest, I did like how closely it started after the end of the first episode. I did like that, and I do like it when episodes do that in various shows. But I gotta say, for the most part, it just felt like that it was going on a bit too long. That maybe there wasn't enough action. And I gotta say one thing. There was a scene where May was scouting the diner where Creel was, and they heard that scream, that woman screamed and everything. That's classic. It's not the Willem scream that's always used in all kinds of movies. It's like the female version of that scream, constantly used. I thought it was cheesy, and they could have done something better with that scene. But closer to the end, when the action really picked back up, I kind of liked it. But for like the first half of the episode, it was kind of boring.
Okay. How about you, Isaiah?
I personally like this episode a lot because Hunter and the rest of the supporting characters kind of stole the show for me. Like the new engineer next to Fitz, I forgot his name.
Mac.
Yeah, thank you, Mac. He was very, very good. He was a very interesting character.
Yep.
And I'm gonna say the other black guy's name wrong too because I've been doing a lot of this shit. Agent Triplet.
Yeah.
Yes, he was great too. He was really interesting.
You need to know the names by now, Isaiah.
Shut up! I got work. I got other things to do in my life. Thank you, Andy.
I watch over 10 TV shows and I remember all the characters' names.
Well, I have a personal life, thank you.
So do I.
Doesn't seem like it. You got the Superman behind you.
All right, so continue.
Oh, who, me or him?
You.
Oh,
Yes,
okay,
you.
fine. Andy interrupting. You guys interrupting. Anyways, Absorbing Man was very cool. I love how it played out, and we saw a lot of old characters come back. So I really loved that too. This episode was just great all around. I liked it a lot.
Perfect. Myself, I actually enjoyed this episode. I don't think it was as exciting as the first one was, but it was still pretty good, and I did enjoy it from start to finish. I don't see how it was boring as Charles thought because it was a little bit of surveillance. I guess I could see it, but I don't necessarily agree.
It was like a sequel to the first episode.
Yeah, it was
Right, right.
kind of a transition, basically between the first episode and the second, of what was going on with Creel. That was, if they had made it too exciting at the beginning, then they would have had nothing to do at the end,
Right,
because she would have shot him in the back of the head, and now you no longer have a bad guy.
right. Thank God she didn't do it.
Um, but okay, so now we have that opening scene, where, of course, that I already have described, and then you have Melinda May going up behind him, and he's about to shoot him. And who do you agree with? Do you agree with Coulson, or do you agree with May? Do you think she should have just shot him right then and there?
Colston, I agree with him more because if she did hit him, what if it didn't work? What if he actually knew that he was gonna get shot by her? He could have absorbed into something else. So you don't. It's the unknown factors that plays here. Like she could have done it, be done with it, but there's another bigger factor behind it. Like if he was dead, we don't know who he was contacting with. If it was Hydra or whoever. So I agree with Colson more.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I agree with Coulson. I think May. It's not just like whether or not Creel would know he was getting shot. It's also what if May also managed to hit him and managed to kill him? Well, then what would happen to the truck that he was driving? He would lose. It would lose control. It would create a wreck and injure and possibly kill dozens of more people.
More
It would
cloud
so
damage.
collateral damage. Yeah, but the thing is, I think Coulson didn't want that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought of that, actually. And he had mentioned that they were entering a civilian population,
Right.
but I don't know that. I know in TV shows, I'm sure it's the case, but if a person were to like instantly die behind the wheel, unless they jerk in any one direction, I don't think that's automatically going to cause a crash. And if it doesn't automatically cause a crash, Melinda May would be able to recover the vehicle.
Right, but
Yeah.
also again it would be the unknown factor. Like it could she could kill the only source of Hydra or whoever it might be, and also a bargaining chip too.
Yeah, and they could have gotten the obelisk like right then, right there, and but whatever. I kind of see both sides. I see why Coulson did it, but I would have been very tempted to shoot him in the back of the head as well.
But remember, the one thing is that he could have absorbed the tube. So even if he'd been shot, it would have just been bounced off.
Or absorb the bullet.
Yeah, like you remember the first bullet we saw in the first episode that the Fitz ended up looking at. It didn't harm it at all. So yeah, May did the right thing by not shooting him, and also I remember I didn't see the whole review last week of you guys, but how much did you talk about the obelisk?
Not a whole lot.
Not a lot, because we just don't know what it is. It's the unknown factor.
Well, I have some information for you guys if you want, if you want me to tell you and the viewers at home.
Well, I've been doing a little bit of research on the lettering. I do know that the lettering that is on the obelisk, of course, is the same lettering that I'm trying to remember his name.
Garrett?
Garrett?
Yeah, thank you. Garrett was doing, and then of course Coulson ended up doing later. And Garrett called them the words of creation, and said that they needed to keep Garrett to translate the words of creation. So that's kind of interesting. If they are, for example, the words of creation, if they are somehow the building blocks of everything.
Well, the thing that I have found about it is that, according to my friend Gene Doyle, who's a good comic book friend of mine, he said that the obelisk is actually an object from the comic books that in the comic books actually summons, in the Ultimate version, it summons the Watcher. And Charles, what was the name of the Watcher that you were thinking about when I told you about this?
Uatu.
Yeah. So,
You
because
know Uatu, but not Wally West?
Exactly. You don't know the Hulk can talk?
I found out about Uatu through the game Marvel Ultimate Alliance. That's how I found out about him.
But you don't know the Hulk can talk or Wally West.
All right, the whole Hulk can talk thing. Yeah, I heard him talk a couple of times in rare movies, but I thought it was like a one-time thing. I didn't think that he would talk often.
Sorry, Andy, continue. I couldn't let that go.
Yeah, I know.
No, we did the same thing. So what we discussed was, in the comic books, in the Ultimate version, it summons the Watcher, and it's very much well connected to it. And as my friend mentioned, that something that is very interesting that they pointed out in the Ultimate Orders miniseries, which is apparently where the obelisk shows up. The whole term "it's all connected." It's used in that book, and also just like on the show, Shield protected the obelisk for decades. So there is, it seems that this introduction of this object wasn't random, and I have a major speculation at the end of this episode.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Okay. Let
Just to
me.
say that I don't think it's an Infinity Stone, basically, because I know a lot of people were like, Infinity Stone, Infinity Stone. No, I don't think we're gonna see any more Infinity Stones on Earth.
Yeah, we won't. That's too
I don't
much.
think we're gonna see. Sorry, any what on Earth?
Any more Infinity Stones?
Oh,
I
okay.
thought it was gems though.
Same thing. Same difference.
No.
All right. Let me see. I just realized I should turn on the light behind me. So we have that scene. Now with May watching Creel. The storyline up to that point, I want to skip again. I want to skip Simmons,
Mhm.
or sorry, I want to skip Fitz until the end because he has his own little story going on his own.
Yeah.
Is there
I like that
anything?
too.
Is there anything anyone wants to talk about up to that point in the story, other than Fitz?
At the diner.
Yeah.
At the diner. I would say for the most part, it's your typical thing. Bad guy meets up with other bad guy at diner. Other bad guy decides not to show up. Innocent bystander gets killed, which I gotta say that part where she gets killed was pretty cool. Tragic, but cool. But
It was
yeah,
awesome, man. It was awesome.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe she fucking died right there.
yeah, I realize how morbid that is. I don't
Person who
care.
probably has a kid.
But
But I think it was the effect was cool.
one thing that I have to say about that scene that kind of annoyed me was when May was outside the diner and then heard the woman scream. If you paid attention, that scream is the typical default scream that is used if they got
It
nothing
was
else.
You said that.
I know
like,
it's-
It was cheesy. It was
Well,
really
I
cheesy.
Well, I
I
like
had
that thing though.
I had a problem with that scream. I just don't like it.
I agree with Charles. I was like, wait, I heard that exact scream in Spider-Man 1 during
Yes.
the fire scene. I was like, why the heck are they?
Hey, look,
It's
it's
like-
recycling. Hey, it's for saving money. We don't really care. It's for saving money.
What? Why do you use something like that when you can pay one of the actresses to
Anywho,
actually
moving on
scream?
from there, the diner scene. I did like the diner scene because Ozori Man, he was losing grip of his own powers due to that strange, mysterious thing that we just talked about.
Obelisk?
Thank you. What he just said. So it was very interesting. He didn't really mean to kill that woman at all. It just pretty much it happened.
I was surprised that he couldn't control the absorption in this case.
So, I'm gonna explain this really quickly to you, Andy. His powers when he absorbs.
I know,
the dark-
I know what it was.
I'm not done yet. Do not interrupt me. Thank you. Okay. He can absorb solid matter. We all know that. When it comes to unknown objects like the thing we just saw there, it takes him time, or pretty much a longer time, to actually control it. It took him a long time to control the absorbing power of Thor's hammer, which was very cool, by the way, but stupid and cool. So it does take him some time to actually get to that level. This Krill is, well, this Azori Man is kind of weaker than the comic one, so it's same.
Well, I actually had a point that I was going to make, but then I was threatening Isaiah off camera, and I totally forgot.
Oh, that's nothing new.
With a knife.
What
but-
did you think about the diner? What do you think about the diner scene, Matt?
That's just it. That's what I was gonna say. There are the Wilhelm scream, which is the other version of that scream. That particular scream was actually manufactured to be the perfect scream. There are various different things that are manufactured to be either visually or audio. In this case, auditorial. Perfect. And that is why you hear that scream quite often, is because of the fact that it's supposed to be a perfect scream, or at least close to a perfect scream.
Let me let you hear.
for example, if you look at stores, most stores will set their clocks specifically to 10:10, and that is because of the fact that that is supposed to be the most visually appealing time and for a clock. I mean, it's those little things like that. They have these little subliminal things that appeal to us, and so unless you're aware of them, you do see them quite often. Or in this case, hear them quite often.
Yeah.
So you probably heard it, and you probably hear it quite often because of the fact that it was manufactured to be a perfect version of that screen.
But it's cheap too, so let's be honest.
Sure.
So what's next?
Let me see. After that, we end up going
Hunter.
into. We now have, not to get too much into. We have Hunter.
Yeah, Hunter.
Being captured by Talbot, and kind of.
Talbot.
I
love him, Talbot.
So, but not really captured by Talbot. He's captured by army soldiers and left in a field by himself, where he easily could have wandered off until he saw the helicopter. And when he saw the helicopter, he still could have run off.
But he knows what's going to happen.
And he just waits for the helicopter to land, and which shows an extraordinary amount of confidence, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
And Talbot just jumps out of the helicopter and walks up to him and shakes his hand, like it's no big thing, like this isn't the enemy. I think it's actually Talbot's interaction makes me not hate Talbot as much.
Same here.
Yep.
I think Talbot is.
And plus, this whole.
I like Talbot as a. No, go on.
Go ahead.
Okay, I think Talbot is a great obstacle. He's even though he's a Hulk villain, I think he's on the show. I think it's a good obstacle for the Shield because with the military after him, I think it's a kind of a nice sub city. Is a nice side story basically. What?
Subplot?
Yeah, subplot. I think it's a good subplot, and Adrian Passer, he's one of my favorite actors from Heroes, and I think he's so much fun to follow on Shield. So, and it's gonna be fun to see him a lot this season.
Yeah, I agree with that too. And I did like that scene between Talbot and Hunter because to me it was like they was playing poker too. Like they say like who had the better cards, and pretty much you do this for me and I do that. And Hunter's like saying, why would I do this for you again? Well, yada yada yada, X, Y, and Z. So it was very interesting dialogue, and you knew Hunter. I knew this about Hunter already. Like me and Matt talked about this. Like he's a noble mercenary if you think about it, because he did care about his team and the money.
All right. That I was hoping that we were not going to discuss this, but we did. So I feel obligated.
What are you holding?
Isaiah, you were right.
Boom, bitches! What's up? Surprise, motherfucker! I was rich. And right.
Isaiah, nobody cares.
You do, Andy.
Isaiah, it happens so very rarely that I had to acknowledge it. I mean, let's face it. When was the last time it happened?
It happens sometimes.
I think you might have still been in the womb.
Hey, I want to say that one word you guys love so much, but I'll keep it to myself. Because I was right.
I love you, man.
But now I'm dancing. You can't tell.
You're sitting in your bed, for God's sake.
Now I'm sitting in a chair. Not my bed. Thank you. Ooh, burn.
He had to be sitting in his chair because remember he lowered his self down by pulling the little thing on his chair.
Actually, I can't put this thing down. Sad to say.
You can't even put a low 30 key, whatever.
You mean my lower third? For example, that's Google's fault. Not my fault. That's Google's, not mine.
How is it Google's fault? Everybody can figure it out except you. Oh, and apparently Charles.
Exactly. Thank you.
But Charles
Yes.
can. I think he just forgot.
No, it was up earlier, but I've been messing with the Hangout toolbox for like the past 2 minutes trying to get it to work,
okay.
and nothing is working.
Thank you, everyone, for proving me right once more.
You are right in this case, not always.
2 cases. Oh, 2 cases.
Okay,
Ooh.
how about we move on?
Compared to the past 100,000 times you've been wrong.
Oh, because that's Isaiah logic.
Guys,
Right here is
how
the
about we
real
move on and talk about the episode a little bit more, okay?
Oh, that's right. That's right. We were talking about a TV show, weren't we?
Yes.
So yeah, he ends up having the conversation with Hunter. Hunter's all like, "Yeah, give me $2 million, bitch," and he's all like, "Yeah, that's not a problem." Hunter's a little taken back, but not really taken back, and he's all like, "Okay, in that case, I also want a proper
It's so
funeral
weird.
for my
It's so weird
friends."
the military would actually give a mercenary $2 million. Like, it's like, oh yeah,
Yes,
because we just have that kind of money lying around just for anyone to take.
yes, Annie, they will do that.
Actually, to the military and the government as a whole, $2 million is nothing.
Exactly, it's like pennies. Like, here you go.
Yeah, it's like pennies. Yeah,
Right.
complete
And
And when you
pennies.
think about it, it's not necessarily paying a mercenary for a job. In this particular case, you are basically, when it comes down to it, paying a bounty hunter for a bounty. And
Right.
there are $1 million bounties out there.
Right.
Good point.
Huh?
It was cute
Good
too.
point.
So yeah, in that case, of course, whether or not he agrees to it is open for debate, at least for now. Though I think everybody is pretty plainly, we
Well, Hunter
all
was.
know that he took it.
Yeah,
And
Hunter
of
is not
course, he
super
admits
clear.
he took it later.
Yeah, Hunter's like, yeah, he knows he's not gonna get what he wants. So let's be honest in that part too.
I love how he said that what are you going to do if I say no? Are you going to kick me out of the helicopter? Because I've been helped out of a helicopter before. I
Right.
love how he phrased that. Yeah, I've been helped out of a helicopter before.
Yeah, I like that it was kind of like he was basically like, yeah, you can threaten me with whatever you want. I don't really care what you do with me.
Right. I mean, I'm such a badass too. It's like, yeah, he doesn't care. Like I don't care.
And so let me see. Then of course he goes back. He ends up pretty much getting hired to be part of the op. Am I missing anything before the op?
We had
Well,
discussion.
Well,
And
Turbo takes him in, in cuffs.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
Ow.
And that he was going to take the money, or that he was going to take the reward. He does not admit the $2 million though.
right.
Yeah.
He missed everything else besides the money.
And which is pretty funny considering that it's pretty obvious that Coulson knows.
Very quickly too, was Coulson a little bit more on edge, or a little bit off, or a little bit more soft to his team, because he was always on edge and pretty much. It's like he knew everything was going to go down. He saw the cards already. Like, okay, it's going to happen here, X, Y, and Z. We need to get to here. It's like he was more
He's more strategic this season.
right. He's like he's thinking steps ahead of the competition.
I don't think I wouldn't say that he's gotten softer. I would actually say he's gotten harsher.
I
Yeah,
like that too.
I would have to agree. I think he is much more on edge than he ever was before. As a matter of fact, Sky calls him out on it. He says,
Yeah.
"You need
And
to."
she's getting pissed about. She's getting tired about it.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, it's good that actually someone is actually speaking, because it's none of the other characters are actually complaining about it, but she's actually the one saying, well, guys, what the hell?
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Yep.
She even suggests that he try yoga,
Right.
which apparently he has.
And also,
Was
before we
so
go-
cute.
and also before I do like how the team is pretty much growing more and more. Like we had got this first season, they were molding, but now season 2, the team's coming more and more, again, like a family type unit, but more better though. It's like coming more like an actual real life team in progress.
Yeah, and
More so.
I think the main parts of that are Mac and Hunter. I think that it's really Mac and Hunter, and of course to agree, Tibbets that's actually adding to that is you have these new people who are they're having fun. They're having fun with the whole thing.
Right.
And they're actually enjoying being the good guys. And I think Hunter is going to enjoy being the good guy.
Well,
Because
Yeah.
He'd be like Han Solo.
yeah, exactly. That's actually a good analogy. Is I think he's probably going to be the Han Solo of this particular episode.
But I gotta ask, if he's
Or not
gonna be
this
Han
episode,
Solo,
the show.
I
if
will
he's
tell
gonna
him.
if he's gonna become Han Solo, who's gonna become his Princess Leia?
Really? Is that so obvious?
We didn't say become. We said he was gonna be like the the
I know what you
archetype.
I know what you meant. The Han Solo archetype, yes.
Well,
So who's gonna become the Princess Leia archetype?
Well,
Nobody.
My man boobs. So anyway, I think the thing I want to know about him is the thing is in the comic book he worked for Strike. So I would like to know if he actually worked for Strike in this universe, for example, because that would be kind of a cool connection.
Mm-hmm.
Strike. What is all right? You're gonna have to give me what is Strike. I know Striker.
No, Strike is basically British Shield. You saw it in Winter Soldier.
Oh, okay, sure. Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know about Strike. See,
Yeah, British Captain America.
Charles, when I don't know something about something in the comics, it's because it's weird and strange and not something that everybody in the world knows.
The funny thing still, though, is the fact that he knew Jon Stewart, but he didn't know Wally West.
Exactly. It's like, dude, you don't know what, man. You know what Cyborg is? You know who Cyborg is, Charles?
Yes, I know who
See what I
Cyborg
mean?
is.
See what I mean? He knows Cyborg. He knows every other black character, but he doesn't know Wally West. Damn shame.
So,
Yeah.
okay, so we now have Creel who's trying to recover from becoming this this stone that's from the obelisk. That's when he
He's
ends.
preventing from getting stoned.
Yes,
When-
we're trying to get him to stop hanging out with Charles.
Yeah.
Guys,
Stop giving him weed.
getting stoned.
Oh god, I was.
This time I actually had real sunglasses, bitches.
So yeah, that's when Raina shows up, and Raina's all like, "Hey, I got this cool little new material that might help you."
It's called.
And
She's so
I
great.
don't have any sort of defense or offense ability, and I'm this little tiny girl, and I'm sure that you're going to end up doing what I say, so I will give you this without any sort of
Continue.
like seriously.
She's Reina. Her flower dress is a fucking superpower. She doesn't need support.
I mean, really, like, every time she's in danger, she always gets out of it, like, out of nowhere. Like, wow, that fire just would be very, very powerful.
The hilarious
Her
thing though, in the
Her superpower, Raina's superpower, is her flower dresses.
That's what Andy just said.
Yeah, he just said that.
Yeah.
dude.
You're telling someone else's joke.
Poor white boy.
I know.
So, I'm telling you, we keep Charles around, so I'm not the whitest boy in the hangout.
Right. I can be the racist I got here, but Charles is 10 times racist.
Even though you look white, Matt, you're nothing like white.
Okay, all right. So the idea is, the thought is
What are you holding?
But if like a baby crawled up to me, to my feet, and had like a gold chain in its grubby little paw, and I had like baby food there that I was feeding it to my own baby, I'm not gonna trade the baby food for the fucking gold chain. I'm just gonna take the fucking gold chain, and yes, I am saying I would steal from a fucking baby.
Like a boss.
Yeah.
We're all awful people.
I mean, that's pretty much what it was. She's a bad guy going, oh, I've got this thing that you want, and you have no way of taking it from me other than taking it from me.
Right.
I thought it was kind of ridiculous. I thought it was stupid. She should not have been that stupid.
Well, I think she was.
And her
I think
big
she was right.
heels.
Yeah.
And her stupid big heels. When she took, I know I'm skipping ahead a little bit, but later in the episode, she takes, the briefcase and she just like walks away quickly. I'm like, there's no fucking way you can get away with those heels.
Andy should know.
Can I mute him, please?
No. And not only that, but it's pretty safe to say that I more than likely have worn heels much more than anyone else in this hangout combined. Just gonna say.
But
Let's do the time warp again.
but I want to talk a little bit about Reyna in this scene. I mean, you guys say she wasn't so bright, and it's fair to say, but I think she was actually playing a more sly game here. She always does that about her. She was thinking she's going this way, but you find out she's going this way. It's really hard to tell what she's doing most times. Like what she's saying. I'm just too distracted by her.
And that is actually something that I was thinking as well, is that she might have intentionally been that stupid, just so she could manipulate Shield into tracking Creel with the tracking chip that's on the element.
She may be short, she may have crazy eyes, crazy big eyes, but she is one hell of a smartass.
Hey now, I love those eyes, man.
And no, I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention to how smart her ass was.
Hey now, that's awesome too.
The intelligence of her ass is not what I was staring at. No one is gonna laugh that I was there. Never mind.
Try again, white boy.
And then, of course, they end up that's where we come back to Hunter. Hunter and the team go after Creel using the tracking chip, and that's when Hunter says, "You know what? I'm going to be completely loyal to Shield until I stun them all."
Right.
Well, the thing, you know why he did it? I think because he wanted to avenge Izzy's death because he was still upset about it, and I think he didn't want anyone else to die on the hands of Creel.
Right. Like I said, they
Just
do have a lot. Yes, no, you're actually right, Andy, because he has a noble heart. He is a Han Solo type character.
I'm not ready to say he's noble. He still needs to prove a lot of
He's
more
noble
things
in
before I
thieves.
can say
He's
that.
like an honor among thieves type of mentality. And again, I won't say it's a betrayal from his part. He's just, again, he's trying to do what he thinks is right. What he thinks he's trying to do. And plus, he wanted Krill badly. And he went up against him and was like, dude, are you that stupid? He's like, yes, he's that stupid. But he's cool, though.
And this actually leads us to a question that I wanted to ask earlier, but I didn't want to ask it too early. Is he ends up getting in a fight with Creel, and then through means that we're about to come up with once we start talking about Fitz, Colton shows up and takes Creel down quite easily after Hunter gets his ass kicked, by the way. I mean, Hunter gets his... Yeah.
So what do you expect? Crusher Creel is fucking jacked. He's so big.
And
those
hard enough
arms.
not to get in a fight with someone that's that jacked and that big, but apparently he's not.
Well, maybe he has a death wish. Maybe he's like, oh, I wanna get my ass whooped.
Well, yeah.
We're
I'm
actually going to
saying.
cut that particular portion out, or just copy paste that specific quote out of the Hangout, so we can place it other places. Just Isaiah saying the words, "I want to get my ass kicked." Not Isaiah, Andy saying, "I want to get my ass kicked." I misspelled Isaiah's name earlier in the description for the Hangout.
So where are we right now in the episode?
So Coulson ends up taking out Creel. Creel ends up going back and forth between all the various elements he's ever been, and then, of course, settles on the obelisk one and turns into stone.
Yeah. It was cool, though.
I'm glad he did that. I'm glad they didn't kill him off, because I think Absorbing Man is... Look, I'm not saying he's going to be in a movie anytime soon, but I would like to have the option at least open that he could actually show up, because Crusher Creel is a cool character, and look, this actor, I would love to see him actually go up against the Hulk. Now, I know it's not going to happen, it probably will never happen, but, it's nice to leave your doors open for that possibility. So.
Plus, sorry to interrupt you, Andy, but Absorbing Man is a Hulk villain, so you can't say never is never. It could happen.
But
yeah, you never I forget what the phrase is.
Hey, you tell
something.
me. See,
you never can tell.
You never fuck.
You can never tell with this guy.
You never Lola. You never Coulson.
So, all right. So now I'd like to get into Fitz. Now I know there's one scene that is not part of the
Fitz.
but we're gonna leave that because that is actually dependent upon Fitz, or at least that comes at the end of Fitz's story. So now let's go back to the beginning of the episode. We have Fitz still talking to Simmons. Fitz, like, okay, I still can't do this cloaking device. Fitz, oh my God, they have a cloaking device. Fitz, I'm still talking to Simmons. And then, and that's pretty much the same thing as the last episode. But now we have
Yeah.
Mac actually engaging with
Right.
Fitz.
Right.
And I
Yeah,
think
I really like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe Mac has dealt with this sort of thing before.
I think
and
he
it doesn't
has.
freak him out.
I think he said. Oh, you go ahead.
Personally, I don't think that's it. I think it's just that Mac just treats him as,
Equal.
that's the thing. Simmons, the hallucination Simmons says to Fitz, oh, he doesn't talk, he doesn't talk like the other guys does to you. That's kind of refreshing, meaning that he doesn't talk to him like an idiot. He doesn't like give him any special treatment. He's like, well, dude, let's talk it out. So he looks at him as an equal. He doesn't look at him as someone who's been damaged. So I think
Right.
that, although, man, I do like your idea that maybe he's been with someone like that before. But I don't think that's the case. I think that he's just like, he's a dude who needs some help, whatever.
Right. And the whole psyche behind Fitz Simmons. His psyche's like telling him like, yeah, Mac's a good guy. Talk to him. Yeah, he can help you open up more and actually get back to your old self. That's what his own conscience is telling him, because he's really just talking to his conscience and he knows his right and wrong mortality behind it. So, Hmm?
Sorry, and you actually bring something at least to my mind, is that people were trying to combine Fitzsimmons in the first season as if they were one person. Like, people for the longest time didn't know who Fitz was, who Simmons was. Some people still don't. And they wanted to combine them into one person, like as in like Fimmons or Sitz or whatever. And in this particular case, we actually do have that. We have both Fitz and Simmons in one body, pretty much. And I say that because of the fact that Simmons is actually noticing things that Fitz didn't, such as the papers in the fax machine, as in some of the observations that are biological in nature that maybe Fitz would not necessarily know.
right.
But obviously he does know, because somewhere in the back of his head maybe he heard Simmons say it, and so it kind of like maybe that came about. But it's not something he would necessarily know offhand, and yet he's able to do it. He's
Right.
able to be both of those people.
And also, very quickly, it was really weird how the team actually said like Simmons abandoned the team when she abandoned Fitz. It was like, wow, that's kind of harsh. She was trying to help him out. That was kind of cold. So it was kind of like, wow, they went that far to say
Well, we don't know what happened. We need to wait till next week's episode.
Yeah, that's. I was just about to say that is we get to see what happened to Simmons next episode.
that. I know, but to me again, that was still kind of like a cold approach what they said about her. Like,
Mm-hmm.
To me, it was difficult to judge because, once again, I need to see next week's episode because I think that's gonna pretty much explain why more why she left and so on. So,
But she had more of a reason than just Fitz.
right.
So yeah, and then let me see. So they end up figuring out and developing the. Not only does he figure out how to. He ends up using the phrases, "I did not figure that out today."
no,
To
that
me,
he's done it
that
before.
automatically told me that's because he already figured it out. He had already
Same here.
it's not that difficult. And it took Mac a little bit to figure that out, but it was like, oh, he did not figure that, but he did figure it out.
Right.
Basically, is what I heard.
I need to ask you guys this. Every time I see this guy in a scene, I'm sorry, he just reminds me so much of The Rock. He's big, he has a big shiny head, the beard, he has a deep voice. It's like, oh my god, I kept thinking about The Rock. Which is kind of
I think I would agree with you, except for the fact that this guy, you can take this however you want. This guy has so much nicer eyes than The Rock has.
Nice
Like
what?
seriously, if those eyes were in Reina, I'd be stalking the actress who plays Reina.
And
Oh
also,
my god, do you have a man crush on Henry Simmons?
also,
Eyes.
Mac reminds me of another character, not the Rock, but the guy I can't remember his name in Criminal Minds, the only black guy there. I forgot his name.
I don't know his
I know
name.
which one
I
you
don't know his name
mean.
either, but he also acted in the short-lived WB TV show called Birds of Prey.
Oh, did he?
Oh, he did? Oh, okay. Then after
Well,
that, he was in
Birds of Prey as well.
he's also in the soap opera too, which is also he was good in that one as well. So yeah.
Well, anyway, I like Mac. I think he fits in well on the show, and I think, he's a minor character from the comic books, and actually, ironically, he's actually white in the comic books. I think it's nice what they were able to do with them on the show. Take a minor character and actually make him something bigger.
Wait. So they got a white character that's in the comics, and then they made him a black character in the TV show.
I know, right?
Charles,
Where's Charles
asking
at?
you, how do you respond?
Yeah, Charles.
Hmm?
How do you
Charlie?
respond, Charles?
I have accepted this kind of stuff now because they're gonna continue doing it. So it's like there's no point in bitching.
Oh, okay. Did you read the comic book of Thor being a woman?
Shut up, Isaiah.
Do you know Wally West is actually African American now?
That I do know. Yes.
Oh, he knows that. He doesn't know the real Wally West. Never mind. Let's go on with the show.
So, of course, that's when they figure out that they ended up having this ultimate device that's I don't know exactly what it was supposed to do originally.
Yeah.
I guess it was used previously in one of the episodes. I just don't remember exactly what it was used for. And that's how they end up saving the day. So ultimately, Fitz ended up saving the day a year ago. Is basically what we learned.
Also, Coulson made a deal with Talbot in a strange way. Like, give us more leeway, we can help you out. We give you more presents like that. So, it was really interesting.
That is actually a scene I had almost forgotten. Was the scene in which Coulson freaked out, in which he had quote unquote an episode. I had almost forgotten to mention that is apparently every 15 days or so, or somewhere around there, he has to basically express himself by drawing out these words of creation, assuming that they are actually words of creation as I'm forgetting Garrett called them.
Right.
And apparently it was those words of creation like building up in his head that ended up that's making him so tense, so on the edge.
Right.
So that's kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And May did probably the smartest thing she possibly could have, and not only did she document what those words of creation are, but she also documented in what order they were written in, because if they are like a language, order counts.
Yeah. Plus, I already know Nick Fury has I think he already knows that as well too. Like Nick Fury knows everything. And we might see that scientist again from Thor. I forgot his name. Charles might know him.
Oh, you mean the Doctor?
Yeah, who made a lot of stuff and went to the Avengers and everything else. Yeah, he might be the one figuring it out.
Selvig. Dr. Eric Selvig, yes.
He could come back on the show, but okay, this means this means this means this. How do you know this, Loki?
If he shows up in this TV show, I'm really hoping he's wearing pants.
Yeah, same here. I hope he's wearing pants.
Yeah.
And I can't believe I'm about to say this, but yeah, I hope so too.
That's a first.
So, last scene, of course, they figured out the cloak. Whether or not
that's not the last scene.
Well, that's one of the last scenes.
It kind of is because of the fact that you have the last scene in which Coulson is talking to Talbot.
Well, what about Sky's dad?
Oh, right.
Matt?
And he froze. Anyway, let's talk about Sky's father, really briefly. Andy?
Well, shall we not wait for Matt?
No, let's keep going.
Okay.
No, yeah, our host is gone, so we're taking over.
Okay,
Okay,
moving on.
so yeah, Kyle MacLachlan as Sky Spotter. That was intense
I agree. That
when he
was really
showed
intense.
up. We
It
see
was
his
cool.
bloody hands. We see his bloody hands still, what we do learn is that Reina, she could pick up the obelisk, which means that she has to be something supernatural, something super
That she was
fantastical or
chosen or
whatever.
something. He said she was chosen because the thing has a mind of its own. So that was really cool about the item itself. So yeah, I think he
Yeah.
likes Reina too. Like all of us, like we like Reina as well. Yes, we do.
Well, here's my question: Has
Yeah,
Rena been working for Sky's father the whole time?
that's an interesting
It
question.
seems like the case that yeah.
Hmm. That's really interesting because we don't know exactly because she was working with Hydra, but then she was working with Centipede or whatever if I can call that team, then the Hydra, and then now Sky's father. So it's very confusing. She's a very mysterious character. So I don't know. It's really interesting. Really interesting.
Sorry, my computer apparently blue screened of death.
Oh,
Oh no.
Wow.
Yeah, fun times. As I was saying, um,
So I can't stand you.
We already finished the rest on Sky's father. Don't worry, man.
um,
What did you
as
think
I was saying, yeah, Coulson ends up talking to Talbot, hands the guy over, and then Talbot's all like, "Oh, I was so brave. Why are you guys laughing?"
Nothing. And he's making me laugh the most.
And then, hey, I'm still dedicated to this hangout. Fuck you. Um,
See, Charles, he used his phone.
and then let's see, and then of course at that point,
Turn on the
uh,
light?
all like, "Oh, I can't believe that you would come out here without any backup or anything."
Right.
And that's when that he basically drops the bomb and shows, "Look at this, motherfuckers! I got a whole fleet of this shit," which of course he doesn't.
Right, he's lying.
It's
But
like
that's a
it's
good
like
lie.
two of them.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. That's all it has. Cool. But
But
Talbot
Matt,
didn't know that, so cool.
Yeah.
what did you think about Sky's father?
This guy's father.
Yeah, using it.
You didn't.
He's in post credits, like after the
No,
credits
that
roll.
was a no. That was funny enough. The Talbot scene was actually post credit, which is kind of ironic because a scene like the one we saw with Reina and him is normally the kind of thing you would put as a post credit scene.
No, I don't remember his father being in there. Maybe I ended up
No,
stopping
Sky's father.
watching at that point.
Sky's father.
See, every time you say Sky's father, it sounds like you're saying Sky is falling. Like Chicken Little.
Well, it is falling.
Okay, this scene with there was a guy and Reina. She picked up the obelisk.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I had forgotten about that. That's supposed to be
Oh
Sky's
shit!
father?
Yeah.
yes.
When was he identified as Sky's father?
Well,
When they announced him on Marvel.com this summer.
oh yeah, they
Oh,
did.
I missed that. See, I try and stay away from spoilers until the season really starts. So I did not really.
Also, the
Whoops.
Oculus is a living thing. If you think about it, like it can choose people who they want to have or not have. You can't touch me. You can touch me. Reina, you can touch me. Yes, you can touch me.
Huh? Yeah, and that was pretty cool. Reina was freaking out that she was going to end up dying by touching this thing, which of course she had full right to think that. And then of course she touched it. We end up seeing one of the words of creation that we had ever seen before,
That's what she said.
other than on a wall, and she doesn't die.
Sorry about that.
Which not dying generally is a good thing unless you happen to be a bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Charles like this.
So, what else would you want to say about the episode? Oh, but I have a speculation now about the character about Sky's father.
Okay, shoot.
Could he be the Watcher?
Hmm.
Isaiah, I mean Charles, Matt.
That's really interesting, Andy. Because the Watchers can shapeshift to other types of forms that they want to, and they are godlike creatures, somewhat like godlike creatures. So it'll be really
Mhm.
interesting too. Really, really interesting.
Because it makes sense why he would have the object come back to him.
Right, but wouldn't that be it makes them overly too powerful? Because the Watchers are no joke. They are very powerful.
Well, Kyle MacLachlan is powerful, so why not?
I don't know because that'd be really cool. I was gonna say like it could be not a Krill or anybody really. I was gonna say that one guy, that one villain from Marvel. He's a stone-like monster, and I forgot his name, but he's really really cool. Oh god, the Gargoyle, something like that, whatever. So he has a really interesting. He's really interesting. He could be any of the villains in Marvel or a new villain. We don't know yet. And also,
I think he's a Marvel character. I think it's someone that we don't know much about,
right.
but I don't well, Matt, what do you think? Who do you what do you think about this theory that Sky's father could be that Watcher character that was talking about from the Obelisk?
I don't think it's possible at all. Not even a little.
Okay, whatever.
Only because of the fact that I think that she has. I mean, I'm not trying to trounce all over it, but I think that she has alien origin, and Watcher is much more than alien. He's more ethereal or eternal, as it
Well,
were.
he can die, but because he's not eternal. But he's both really. You can say he's a god, and you can say he's an alien because he's a mixture of both really.
Well, he's been alive since when, Isaiah?
Since the dawn of pretty much everything else.
Okay, which makes him.
Hey, he can be alien. Aliens can live long for a long time. I'm not gonna say what you
Just
want me to
answer
say.
the question, Isaiah.
I did answer the question, Andy.
He,
I didn't
he
make no
asked you how
word.
old, and you didn't even say a number.
A number. You want to put a number to the Watchers? They are so fucking old. It's not funny. And don't shake
So,
your head, Andy.
almost like they're
Any
eternal or something.
Yeah,
any
he's
major
eternal.
speculations?
Yeah, any wild speculation? Let's go backwards.
I have one. I have a
Okay.
speculation.
Let's go backwards because of the fact that if we don't let Charles go now, he's going to forget.
Yes.
Yes. My speculation is a little bit out there because with mentioning about the whole Watcher thing, it also leads me to believe that maybe something. Now this is highly unlikely. I mean, pretty much impossible to happen. But I'm just throwing it out there because it's something that I just recently came across. There's a being in the Marvel universe called One Above All. It's it's basically the entity that created the multiverse.
Yeah, but I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't put him in there. No.
Okay,
That's
let
too
him
powerful.
finish. Let him finish.
No, I'm just saying.
Well, it's just I know you guys said that maybe that the obelisk is connected to Ultu, and I think that that would be awesome. It would have been my speculation until Andy beat me to it. Um, but just the thing with the one above all entity, yeah, I can see how that would be difficult to bring into in the Marvel Cinematic Universe as a whole, because that's basically the Marvel Universe equivalent to God. And
My God.
I just think that they may not bring him in, but they might mention something that points towards his existence or its existence.
I was gonna say her father could be an Inhuman, or it could be Black Bolt. Hey,
I don't.
I know
I
it
think
sounds really crazy
I
because
think Vin
Black Bolt
Diesel
can't
is
talk.
playing Black, but I think Vin Diesel is playing Black Bolt. But Inhumans could
It's not
work on
confirmed.
Shield.
It's rumored.
Anyway,
I didn't say it was confirmed. I'm saying, it looks like he might play, but whatever. I think it would be interesting if Sky's father is an Inhuman, just like Sky. So
Well, that's just it. And so my thought is that Sky is going to be part alien, whether it be Skrull or Kree or whatever. I think that is what's going on with her.
well, she
Um,
is part Kree.
oh, that's right. We actually confirmed that last season, didn't we?
yeah,
Well, because of the because of the serum.
right.
Oh, that's right. And the Inhumans were part Kree, part human, weren't they?
They're,
I'm trying to remember the background on this. We had this
They're-
discussion like 8 months or 6 months ago.
it's hard to tell from Inhumans because they're more than human. They're more evolved humans. Because you can say Krill, you can say Skrull, but they're more than that. They're so more than anything else. But you can't say it though.
Okay. I'm just thinking that the reason Reyna was able to touch that obelisk is that maybe she was prepared to do so. Maybe she has had that GH382 or whatever it was fucking called, or 283. I don't know. But you know what I mean.
Tahiti.
The blood from the alien.
Yeah.
I'm thinking the Sky's going to be able to touch that without a problem. I'm thinking Phil Coulson's going to be able to touch it without a problem. Reyna might be able to touch it because she's been prepared as well.
So can we be honest too? Like,
that is my wild speculation. Is that there are people who can touch it, and those are them.
Okay, can we just be honest? Say this too. When you say touching it, it's like saying it's like a dirty flick. Like, okay, Reyna touched it, and Sky might touch it. Coulson might touch it. So why can't Reyna touch me though? I'm just saying.
Because she would turn to stone. Duh.
Hey, that's still working for me.
If
like,
you were to touch your obelisk, I think I think she turns to stone. I'm pretty sure that's how it works.
Stoned and loving it. Boom.
Andy, do you have anything else?
No, it was mostly just about Sky's father.
Perfect. Charles, any last words?
No, I don't got anything. I'm out.
All right. In that case, we're going to close it up without asking Isaiah if he has any last words. I'm your host, Matt Moore. This has been Geeks of the Round presents Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Check us out, www.geeksoftheround.com, youtube.com/geeksoftheround. Like, subscribe, all that other fun stuff. The more you do that, of course, not only do you get the content, but it also makes it to where other people will have more of a chance of seeing it as well, which does help us out, just so more people can see what we're doing. Cool. Of course, check out our other hangouts. We're doing Sleepy Hollow. We're actually doing this week's Sleepy Hollow right after this one.
Blacklist. We're doing Blacklist.
Oh, sorry, Blacklist. Sleepy Hollow was yesterday. I apologize. And what else? We're also doing, we're going to be doing Game of Thrones. We're going to be doing Walking Dead. Game of Thrones, obviously, not for a while. We're also doing, what else are we doing?
The Flash, Arrow.
Didn't I say earlier you weren't allowed to talk or something to that effect?
Hey, I'm helping you out, thank you.
Flash, Arrow. I'm going to be running Flash. Deanna's going to be doing Arrow. And we're also going to be doing American Horror Story as well.
Yes.
Perfect. All right, yeah. Isaiah, get back in your box, and the rest of you, have a great day. Thank you for watching.
Bye-bye.
Later, bitch.